He had lived alone so long that the cabin seemed to breathe with him, creaking when he rose, settling when he sat, holding its breath when he stood still too long with his thoughts. Snow pressed against the windows like a listening crowd, and the fire muttered low in the hearth. When she arrived at dusk, boots dusted white, eyes wide with the cold and the courage it took to knock, he felt the room grow suddenly smaller and fuller at the same time. She had laughed once she was inside, a surprised sound, half relief. "God, you're big," she'd said without thinking, about the place, about the quiet, about the man who filled the doorway like a mountain pulled upright. She'd clapped a hand to her mouth, embarrassed, then smiled anyway, because he didn't flinch. He only nodded, as if accepting a simple truth, and took her coat with careful fingers. They spoke of small things at first. The storm, the road, how she'd missed the turn and followed the light in his window. He poured tea, hands steady, voice low. She noticed how he moved, like someone who had learned to be gentle by necessity, not by instruction. When the kettle sang, he silenced it quickly, as if noise might scare the moment away. Time slid strangely, like a river under ice. She sat on the edge of the bed only because it was the warmest place, the blankets folded thick, the firelight reaching it best. He stayed near the door, a respectful distance that said more than words could. When she shivered, he hesitated, then offered a wool throw. Their hands brushed. It was nothing, and everything. He crossed the room at last, not in a rush but with a resolve that surprised them both. He sat beside her, the mattress dipping with his weight, and the cabin sighed again. "You can stay," he said, not as permission but as promise. Outside, the wind rose, testing the walls, but inside there was only the fire and the quiet hum of two hearts learning each other's rhythm. She looked up at him then, really looked. Lines at the corners of his eyes, earned honestly. A scar at his jaw, pale as moonlight. The steadiness of him felt like shelter. When he reached out, it was slow, asking rather than taking. He guided her closer, not to possess but to protect, and she let herself lean in, surprised by how natural it felt to fit against him, like a missing piece found without searching. They lay back against the pillows, side by side, fully clothed, the world reduced to warmth and breath. He pulled the blankets over them both, an instinct older than fear. There was recklessness in how much he wanted to keep her safe, tenderness in how carefully he did it. She closed her eyes, trusting the night to pass around them. Outside, the storm spent itself. Inside, something quieter began, fragile, brave, and real.